Hi, this is Alam Shikdar here. My life was terrible. I was not able to maintain my life properly. And I broke up that bad. I didn't know what to do. And I was really puzzled. All of a sudden, I found Mr. Giller's office. I came and talked to them. They said several options. And I chose my option to file the bankruptcy. That way I can get out all my debt and I can maintain my family so I can get the fresh start. So it was really helpful for me. And then I filed the case of the bankruptcy through Mr. Giller. And it was real helpful. In a short time, I came out of my problems. And now I'm very happy. I mean, I'm able to work, I can do the fresh start, and everything is normal now. And I'm very pleased with his service. I'll recommend any of my friends or families, those who are having the financial trouble, or you have no other way to get out of it. So by legally, you can do something to better your life, less stress, and maintain a good family. And that's all I can say. Good luck for Mr. Giller, and good luck for me too. And anybody need help, please come over here. It's really helpful. Thank you.
My name is Connie White. I came to see Robert Geller for some financial issues that I was having. I had a personal friend recommend me to him, and he has helped me a great deal with my financial problems that I was having. The team that he has here at his office were very helpful and caring, and they helped answer all my questions that I had. And right now I feel amazing, like everything is slowly getting back in place for me, and I just want to tell them thank you for everything they've done for me.
So prior to my bankruptcy, I was completely stressed out. Due to a health crisis, I wound up accruing debt, and could not find my way out. So with a little bit of ego involved, it was really hard for me to decide to go ahead and file bankruptcy. I felt like a failure. I felt like I had let myself down, let everybody else down. And I was incredibly blessed to meet a gentleman in his law firm, and that was attorney Robert Geller. He sat me down and had a good heart-to-heart talk with me and explained to me how important it was, one, for health reasons, and two, for my financial stability in the future, to take a good hard look at the opportunity of filing bankruptcy. See, because I had over $100,000 worth of debt, and it wasn't from traveling, taking great vacations, it was because I got really, really sick. And I get a little emotional with this because it really messed me up. So not only was I battling my health for years, but then I had the pressure of all of that debt on my shoulders, and I would try and settle different bills, and then next thing you know, I was getting 1099s for the fact that I had to pay the differential on that settlement. And it was just getting worse and worse and piling, and to the point where I just felt like I couldn't breathe. So I was incredibly blessed to meet Robert and the team, and they took me under their wing, explained all of my options to me, educated me through the process, and I decided to go ahead and file. Now, through the process, they were with me step by step. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not gonna tell you that I walked in here and just signed some papers and said, hey, that's it. It really was a struggle. So if you're sitting there struggling, I wanna encourage you that this is a great opportunity for you. They walked me through the process, explained everything to me, they held my hand, helped me not to feel ashamed of my decision. And because of that, now I'm sitting on the other side of it. So the bankruptcy has now been discharged. The weight and the pressure is off of my shoulders. I'm feeling so much better physically, and now financially, I'm building my future. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every single person on the team here with Robert Geller Associates. They were a blessing in my life. And I really encourage you, if you're thinking about it now, to get in touch with them, because I'm on the other side, and I 1000% recommend them to my friends and to my family, because I have freedom now. And to have that freedom and to be financially responsible as I move forward into building my future and the future for my family. So once again, thank you guys so much for everything that you did. You've been a blessing in my life.
Well, prior to me coming to see Mr. Geller, it was a chore every day to get up and wait for the phone calls, get the mail, which everybody was wanting money. And at the time, I was having a change of life and did not have the money to pay all my creditors. So I looked up, found Mr. Geller, came in and talked to him, and he put my life at ease. That's the best I can say about that. When I came in, talked to him, he told me he could help and get things figured out, which we did. It was quite a chore because I did have quite a few credit cards and whatnot. And we got that all taken care of. And my life afterwards was, I guess I could say, a sigh of relief. I felt so much better. And as far as recommending Mr. Geller, absolutely. I couldn't ask for a better person. He put everybody at ease. He put me at ease. Everything was so nice. And all I can say is thank you. He really made my life a lot better.
Before filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I was extremely frustrated. I felt that I was a burden to my friends and family, and then I found the law offices of Robert Geller, and I was pleased to speak directly with Frank Papa, one of the attorneys there, and he made me feel very much at ease with the whole process. I had a very difficult case. The United States Trustee's Office was fighting my case. I had many medical bills, which were the cause of my bankruptcy, and they fought for me to get everything discharged, and I would 100% guarantee that they can get you the results you're looking for. They helped me so much, and I'm sure they can help you as well. My life since filing, now that everything is discharged, has been much easier, much more pleasant. I don't have the harassing phone calls and bill collectors coming after me, and I can focus on more important things in my life now.
Okay, I came to Mr. Geller after I'd retired, where we'd lost like basically 3/4 of our income, and we had creditors were was just going to be overpowering. So we needed to do something about it. I came to Mr. Geller. Mr. Geller said, "Oh yeah, we can help you," and they did. Matter of fact, they've got the one creditor totally dismiss everything. So that was a big help. Took a big relief, and we are now doing a lot better. And Mr. Geller's group, I would anybody, if you need any kind of help with any injury or creditors or bankruptcy, I see Mr. Geller definitely.
My name is Mike Scheidler. I used Mr. Geller back in 1999, and again I used him in 2017 or 16. He did a wonderful job for me. Before we used him, it was ringing phones and knocking on doors and creditors calling me all the time. After we hired Mr. Geller, that all stopped. Nobody called, nobody contacted me, and the process was wonderful. The step-by-step, they explained everything, they took care of everything. They stayed in contact with me. If I got mail in the mail, I sent it to them and they took care of it. In 2016, my stepson run us through the mill, and we had to get credit cards and use money that we didn't have to pay legal bills to get custody of our grandson. And it got out of control, and we couldn't pay it back. And we talked to Mr. Geller's associates about everything, and they assured me that they could take care of this. They took care of it like they said they would, and it was finished, and there was no problems. And I would recommend the Geller firm to anybody if they want a good experience.
My name is Russ Muncie. I came to this firm back in January, I believe, and I had no choice but to file for bankruptcy. My financials were being paid and everything, but I got sued from a car accident, and I owed them $72,000, which meant that my driver's license was now not good unless I paid that off, and there was no way I could pay. I was on Social Security, and that was it. I also had to pay my other bills, but the credit card, say, it was $6,000. It's maxed out, and all I was doing is paying the monthly charge for the credit card, but nothing after that. I was just behind the 8 ball. Money was going out for nothing, and so I decided to get bankruptcy, and then went online. I looked up some lawyer firms. I got a hold of this one. I enjoyed what they said, and so we set up the bankruptcy procedure. It was just a matter of getting some paperwork together, some information together on my part, and luckily they did the other. So we filed for the bankruptcy, and finally it went through. I had to go to the federal building to get the final court thing done. And after that, I waited and everything, and finally the bankruptcy did go through and approved. So that was the biggest relief right there. So that meant I could go down and get my driver's license finally. And I went down there, and I ran into a big problem. They kept giving me runarounds this, runarounds that. I had the paperwork together that Frank Papa put together for me to take, and he said these should be the forms. So I got there, and there's a lot of confusion. So I had to call Frank Papa, and Frank Papa straightened them out, say, so I could get my driver's license, which I did. The other thing I found out is that they said I needed insurance, so a non-owner's insurance, and so that's for, come to find out, that would be if I would drive another car. Okay, I didn't have a car at the time, and so I went the other day and tried to get to turn in my driver's license for an ID, and they said I don't need insurance for my driver's license. So that was a very good thing too. My credit score has gone up. I'm up to about 623 right now, and I've applied for credit cards, and we'll see what goes on with those. So I believe in a year or 6 to 8 months, my credit score should be back up to some kind of normal. Right now it's at good, and that's what I enjoy. So I'm applying for that. My credit gets up a little bit more, I can find some work. Then I plan to purchase a car, a vehicle to get around with. I am disabled. I'm in a scooter wheelchair. That's the way I get around right now, taking the bus and everything, but it's okay. And I appreciate the help I have received for everything that was asked. And these people really have, the firm here really has a lot of experience in bankruptcy. And since they primarily do bankruptcy cases, so that's the best thing right there. They have the knowledge and everything. They know the ins and outs, and and the biggest thing is I could have done it on my own, but I don't think it would have been so much of a headache for me to get that done. So this firm here, they've gone beyond what I thought that would happen, like calling up, talking about this or that, and they didn't charge me for it or anything. So it's the help that I received beyond what say the contract was to get in here. I'm very, very happy, and absolutely I will recommend, if anyone is asking about or talking about financials. And I would highly recommend that this firm be used. You know, anyone asks me, I will definitely tell them about this place. So thank you very much. And that's all I have.
If someone were to ask me what life was like before I visited Robert Geller Law Firm to file bankruptcy, I would have to say I didn't have a life. My life was fearful of the door bell ringing, fearful of the phone ringing, fearful of going to the mailbox. No one recommended me to Robert Geller. I actually found this law office through through the internet. I actually came down and visited about a year before I made the decision to file bankruptcy. There was no pressure. I was met with people who were very competent in what they knew, and they respected me that I was not yet ready to file. I went home and I hoped for a miracle. I had been out of work, which was the main problem. The miracle never came, and my miracle became Robert Geller Law Firm. And I made the decision to come back and file. And I have to say that the process was very smooth. I was kept informed. I received phone calls and emails that keep me up to date. When one of my creditors decided to play hardball, it was Christina who took the phone call and said, "No worries." And within 72 hours, we were on our way and everything was being taken care of. There was no fear of my little tiny part-time paycheck being taken away from me. I would recommend Robert Geller to anyone who is thinking of going through the process of filing bankruptcy. It's not an easy process. It's not something that any of us should take lightheartedly. But I am grateful, and I'll always be grateful, that they were here, and I would highly recommend them.
I had been laid off from my job that I'd had for 17 years. Worked really hard on trying to keep everything up and going. Then I got laid off from my job. My husband recommended Mr. Geller, said that he had used him before, and how awesome it was of an experience to help him go through his hard times. So I came to Mr. Geller, and he told me that he could make things easier for me and that it would work for me to do the bankruptcy. After I did the bankruptcy, I had no more worries. I had peace, and I didn't have to think about the burdens of what I was going through anymore. I would recommend anybody to Mr. Geller. They were very helpful. Every time I called, they answered my questions, and if I even needed to come in and talk to them again, they would allow me to do that at any time. I would recommend anybody to call Mr. Geller and set up an appointment and get your life going on a good road and have a peaceful experience with life again.
My wife and I came to Robert Geller for help with our bankruptcy. We had just gotten ourselves in debt as a contractor. Things had just gone real south on us, and things were just piling up. Piece after piece to where it was unmanageable. Homes were starting to foreclose. We had investment properties that were not being able to rent during the times that we were in. And it just seemed like everything was falling apart on us. And going through a bunch of mail one day, I just saw Robert Geller's letter and decided, hey, maybe I'll just give these guys a call. And just came over here, and they were just absolutely fantastic with us. At first, we were a little kind of embarrassed, ashamed. We're not folks that were never in this position before. But the phone calls, staying up at night, I don't think I slept for weeks on end sometimes. But I came in here, it was really warm, really welcoming here. We sat down. They were just great with us. He explained the process and told us what we were going to be doing. Gave us an opportunity to kind of, tell our story with him. He was very interested about us as people and what we were going through. And they were really great to us here. Helped us out restore our credit. We just have a recently discharged. I have a successful business again now, and we just bought a new car. Our credit's good. And it's like an opportunity with some new goals and looking at some new things in life. We're real excited right now. We just are really excited about what they've done for us here at Robert Geller. And On a scale from 1 to 10, I'd rate it out there to 10. Definitely would refer anybody to this company. Absolutely perfect experience. And we want to thank you for that.
Before life, I was unemployed. I'd been laid off on my searching for jobs. I had a house that I had to get out of because it was in kind of a rough neighborhood, the neighborhood that had died. And so my wife wasn't comfortable there, so we found another place to rent. And I got into school and I had nothing. I was unemployment and going to school to get a degree in AutoCAD. My wife was having troubles and she looked up Mr. Geller's office, and Frank Papa helped us. He basically told us what we needed to have, the paperwork, everything. We were pretty much broke. We were living from like paycheck to paycheck. My wife was the only one working. And when we came here, Frank was professional. He gave us a list of everything. We were successful in getting everything together. We brought it back to him, and very quickly they got it all together. We signed everything. We went down to the courthouse. I had to sit in front of a judge and let him go through it. And the judge was very professional. Frank was very professional. Everything was on point and where it was supposed to be. So we got, after it all went by, we waited for about 2 years, and just recently, within the last 3 or 4 months, my wife and I were able to purchase a house. I got a car. We got loans for windows and upgrades for the floors in the house. Everything went through and we had no problem. And everything was real professional. When we got here, and everything that's gone on has been pretty nice. Everybody's friendly. They make you feel like you deserve to be here. You don't feel like you're kind of just taking up their time. Any questions I've had, any nuances to it, it's been answered. Recently, I had a car that was put on to the bankruptcy, and the company that it was through was kind of giving me hassle. So I've now come back, and they actually have me on retainer with them. So if this gets out of hand, they'll protect my credit like they said they would. Everything's been great. I have a car, I have a job, I have a wife, we have a new house, and life is good. Yeah, I would definitely recommend them. Anybody that I hope you don't have to go through bankruptcy, but to get answers and not feel like you're alone is pretty cool. I would definitely recommend them to family or friends that would need somebody for attorney. Frank Papa was awesome.